Lamb shoulder is one of my favorite cuts of meat to braise. It's a wonderful cold weather dish because the oven does most of the work and it feeds a crowd. Start with a 5-pound piece of boneless and butterflied lamb. More salt than you ever think it could take, I promise, and lots of freshly ground black pepper. And of course, we can't forget about the other side. The shoulder is an economical piece of meat and it's marbled with lots of fat, and that fat's going to add flavor to the dish. And before we start searing, 1/4 cup of all-purpose flour. It may seem like a lot of flour, but it really does cook off. You won't taste a trace of flour when it's all done, I assure you. And you could use a knife, but I like to use scissors here. I find it quite easy. This piece of meat is too big for any pan that I keep in my kitchen, so now we're ready to start cooking. When braising meat, the very first step in cooking is to sear the meat. Have a large braising pan or straight-sided skillet set over a medium-high heat, preheated nice and hot, and in goes olive oil, about a tablespoon. This is a lot of meat, so I'm doing this in 2 batches. Fat side down first. Hear that sound? That's exactly what we're looking for. And this needs a few minutes per side, just until it's a nice golden brown color. I think this is about ready. Yeah, beautiful golden brown color, nice crust. Very important when you're searing like this, do not touch the meat. Let it do its thing in the pan. If you move it around, it's not going to build that beautiful crust. You're going to be missing out on lots of flavor. So we can take this out, and our second piece goes in, fat side down again. Okay, this guy's ready to come out. And reduce the temperature to medium in the pan, and straight away you can drop your onions in. This is 1 large onion that's been peeled and coarsely chopped. Stir this around in the fat, scraping up the bottom. Our onions are softened, picking up a little bit of color. The next step, garlic. 6 cloves here, that's about 3 tablespoons, peeled and minced. 2 sprigs of rosemary. I always rub the rosemary a bit just before it goes in the pot. Releases those essential oils. And 2 tablespoons of tomato paste. As always, I like to caramelize. Make a little space in the pan. Drop that tomato paste in and just stir it. It will caramelize very quickly. Only takes a minute or 2. Next, we have our wet ingredients. Worcestershire sauce, 2 tablespoons. 1 bottle of stout beer in honor of St. Paddy's Day. This is Guinness, but you can use any good stout. And chicken broth, low sodium if you're buying it in the can. 1 3/4 cup. Let this come up to a simmer, scraping the bottom of the pan to make sure you're lifting up all of that flavor. At this point, you can crank the heat up to high to make this happen more quickly. And you should also have your oven preheated to 325 degrees. We've reached the boiling point. Time to return the lamb back into the pan. So get some of those juices over the top of that meat. When you're braising, you're not fully submerged. You're about 2/3 of the way up the pan. Okay, it's back to a boil so we can turn it off. Pop on a lid. And this is going to go into a preheated 325 degree oven until the meat is fork tender. That's going to take about 2.5 to 3 hours. Then pop off the lid, let it cool to room temperature, and put it in the refrigerator for 1 to 3 days. Allowing the lamb to hang out in the fridge offers a 2-fold benefit. First, the fat congeals at the top and it makes it very easy to remove. You can see I've done it here. Lots of fat. It also really improves the flavor of the braise because all of those wonderful braising liquids and the meat get to hang out together and meld. I've reheated this over a medium flame just until the meat's warmed through. That takes about 15 minutes. And then you can use 2 forks and shred the meat into bite-sized pieces. Wow, the smell is amazing. I cannot wait to eat this. And I love to serve this with roasted root vegetables like carrots, parsnips, celery root, potatoes. And of course we need some of this beautiful velvety braising liquid. This is really wonderful with watercress or upland cress like this for peppery, fresh bite. And my secret weapon for this dish, tomato jam. You could also use your favorite fruit chutney, but it offers a nice, tart, sweet contrast to this rich, decadent lamb dish. Braising is a wonderful way to get maximum flavor with minimal effort. Happy eating.